Welcome back for another training session on OpenDSS-G. I'm Davis Montenegro and I'm the creator of the tool. Today, I want to introduce you to the installation of the DSSpyServer, which is a new application that comes with OpenDSS for facilitating the communication with the pyControl object within OpenDSS, which is basically a Python script customized by the user. This for describing new models or controlling existing devices inside the current simulation in DSS. The DSSpyServer is distributed with OpenDSS, and if you go into the installation folder where you have the application, you'll find the following distribution. In this case, you have several folders, and there's one that should call your attention particularly, and is the one called DSSpyServer. Inside, you're going to find all the files that you need for installing the server in Windows and in Linux. So if you go to the default installation folder of OpenDSS, you're going to find that folder. Now this program is not installed by default when you install OpenDSS and needs to be installed in a different location. This because it's basically a Python script that facilitates the communication via name pipes with OpenDSS. If you don't have that file with your OpenDSS installation, please download it from the link below, which is at the OpenDSS repository. There you'll find all the files required for registering and making work the DSSpyServer. Within this folder, there's a file called readme_first that will tell you what are the requirements for the local Python installation and how to install the DSSpyServer. First, make sure that you have installed the Python packages required, which are pywin32 and numpy. Pywin32 will give access to Python on Windows to name pipes. That's why it's important. And then proceed with the instructions for the operating systems that you are working on. So if you're working on Windows, we have 4 simple steps that consist on moving the files into a public domain folder, run an executable, and that's it. In Linux, the procedure is very similar. The only thing or the only difference between the Linux and Windows installation process is that instead of installing or running an executable, we're going to run a Python script. Now let's see how to do it. Let's select all the files that we have in Windows. We're going to copy those. I've created a folder within a temporary folder in my documents. I'm replacing the files, and now I'm running the executable. Command line window is going to show up, showing some licensing. Then it's going to ask you to press the enter key, and that's it. With that, you should have the DSSpyServer running. You can test it very quick. Just open your OpenDSS distribution and run one of the examples. In this case, I'm going to select just the first parts of the example where we get to the execution or the call to the DSSpyServer. We can try with the debug window, run it again, and that should work. In Windows, it takes a little bit using the Delphi distribution, but it's telling us that it is connected to DSSpyServer. So now I'm going to put DSSpyServer at one side, DSS at the other one, just to see both interacting while using the debugging window. I can just run everything, solve. I can see the debug window reacting to those commands and even showing some results, in this case some powers, just to verify that everything is working properly. In Linux, it's equally easy. I mean, it's very simple. I've created a little folder with the PyServer files, and here is our installation script linux_install.py. I'm going to open a terminal and I'm going to call that script by typing python3 and the name of the script. The output is going to be very similar to what we saw in Windows, a licensing agreement, and then it's going to tell us that the server has been registered successfully. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the folder where I have my OpenDSS command installed. I'm going to open a terminal window, run the executable, and I'm going to compile one of the examples that we have in there. Just entering the name, compile, and that's it. It's working. We can see the debug window for DSSpyServer open. Every time I solve and show the results, everything is gonna show up, and everything looks great. Now with this procedure, I have demonstrated how to install the DSSpyServer in different operating systems. It's a simple procedure and will enable your pyControl objects immediately. I hope you have enjoyed this training, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.